بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum guys, and I want to welcome you all to a new series that we're going to be starting, new classes. And this class is going to be about the Quran. We're going to take a surah, break it down, look at the grammatical analysis of it, do some sarf of it, try and translate it, maybe even come up with some reflections. So it's going to be a very interesting, I've never done this before, it's my first time. And I'm really happy that you guys have joined me for this amazing, beautiful journey. And it's going to be a lot, inshallah. We're going to try and do as much as possible and try and come up with as much benefit from these sessions as possible and connect to the Quran as much as we can. But before we begin, I just wanted to do a simple introduction so that we understand what is the layout, how is this going to look like, what are we doing here, and all that stuff. But before we begin, I want us to really set our intentions right and understand why we're here, why we are doing this. So each one of us should basically sit down with themselves and really ask themselves, why are they here? Why are you here? Why am I here? Why are we doing this project? Why did you decide to join me today to do this project? What motivates us to do this? What is the motivation behind us wanting to join a class like this, a Quran class like this? Who are you doing it for? Who am I doing it for? So it's important for us to set our intentions right and make sure that our intentions are sincere and pure. And that's the only way, we will see this project through. Otherwise, we would fall short, and may Allah forgive us for all our shortfalls. And of course, you need to figure out what will help you stay on course, what will help me stay on course, because I have to show up for you and you have to show up for me. And at the end of the day, we have to benefit together and do what brought us here, which hopefully is for the sake of Allah. So just maybe after this class is over, sit down with yourself and really talk to yourself and ask yourself, what are your intentions? What do you want to achieve? What are your expectations? What motivates you? What do you hope to learn from this project or to learn from this whole exercise that we're going to be doing? And just streamline your intentions, because that is the most important thing, right? Now, so just to introduce you to this class, and hopefully more classes to come, because this is the first one of its kind. And inshallah, if Allah enables us, we will do more surahs as we go on. So the idea behind this project is that we take some short surahs in the Quran, especially from the Quran week that Ustad is doing right now. And then we just go through the grammar of it. We do the sarf of it. We do some translation and just try to understand the workings, how the surah is arranged and whatnot. So what is this series about? It's basically about the Quran. Okay. So before I used to do grammar and sarf and all this other stuff, but this one is mostly about the Quran. Okay. So we're just going to pick Quran and do what we can to understand what's happening in the surah. Now I'll put here a hadith which is really important. Maybe it will help you and me to understand the importance of the topic that is Quran, the importance of pursuing the Quran and trying to understand the Quran and being together with the Quran. So Anas ibn Malik reported, radiallahu anh, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, verily Allah has his own people among humanity. Allah has his own people. And I want you to focus on this part. Allah has his own people. His own people. So he has a special group of people among humanity that he claims to be his. Like they're special people to Allah. And of course, the Sahaba, they were very curious. So they asked, Ya Rasulullah, who are they? Who are these special people to Allah that Allah has? Then the Prophet ﷺ said, they are the people of the Quran, the people of Allah, and his chosen ones. So this is how dignified, honored, elevated the Quran is in the sight of Allah. It is you and I, once we pursue this noble cause of the Quran, we become the people of the Quran and the people of Allah and his chosen people, his special group of people. May Allah make us among them. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Yeah. So that's just the Arabic part of it. I'm going to skip that. Okay. So now, what are we doing? We are doing Surah Attaghabun. We're going to start with Surah Attaghabun. And the reason why I picked this surah is because it's grammar. It's very simple. It doesn't have very difficult sentences. Its vocabulary is also very straightforward, easy to understand. Most of the words we're familiar with. It has very few ayat. It has only 18 ayat, very short sentences also. The message is also easy to understand. So this is why I picked this surah, because I thought for a pilot study or an initial study, let's go with a surah that, it would be easy on us to just start this project. And then inshallah, we'll see as we go on and pick other surahs as well, where the vocabulary is a bit difficult and the sentences start to get tough. So just a breakdown of what Surah Attaghabun is all about. And I got this from Quran.com, so maybe you can go there and read in details from Quran.com. So it is a Madani surah, even though some say it's partly Meccan and partly Medina. So there's a bit of dispute there whether it's Medina and whether it's Meccan. But majority say it's a Medinan surah. So it's a Madani surah. And the theme of this surah is invitation to faith, to Iman, and to the obedience of Allah and the teachings of good morals. So that's the main theme that we're going to be seeing. Calling people to Iman, calling people to obedience of Allah and the worship of Allah, and doing good deeds and good behaviors and good morals. So when you look at the first 4 verses, verse 1 to verse 4, basically addresses everybody. And that's where we will start from today, inshallah. We'll look at probably verse 1 to 3 if we manage. If not, we'll just look at verse 1 maybe. So it addresses everybody. It talks to everybody, okay? But then when it comes to verse 5 to 10, now it narrows down to those who do not believe. So it goes from a wide audience, narrows it down to a small audience of disbelievers. So it's addressing those who do not believe and invites them to the Quran and to the message of the Quran and to Iman and to things like that. And then from there, it again shifts. So it has 3 parts. The first part is everybody. Then it shifts to those who do not believe, come to believe. Yeah, come to Iman. And then once it's done inviting those guys, it shifts to those who are believers, those who have accepted the message, and it talks about those. Okay, so that's basically Surah Attaghabun in a very, very brief manner of this, the ayah that we're going to look at, hopefully in the next couple of weeks as we embark on this amazing, beautiful journey. Right. Now, before we enter into how we're going to do this, I just wanted us to remind ourselves on how we're going to go about it. So the process of doing the grammar and the process of doing the sarf of a surah. So we're taking a whole surah and we're going to break it down in terms of its grammar and in terms of its sarf. So how we have to refresh ourselves how to do that, because it's been a long time, right? So when it comes to Nahw, you have to ask yourself, what kind of a sentence is it? That's the number one question you need to ask yourself. Is it a jumla fi'aliya or a jumla ismiya? Number one question you ask yourself. So when you see a jumla ismiya, it doesn't mean that it's going to be a jumla ismiya 100% of the time. Sometimes you see an ism and it's a jumla fi'aliya. But when you see a fi'l, 100% of the time is going to be a jumla fi'aliya. But it's not the same with a jumla ismiya. When you see an ism, 99.99% is going to be a jumla ismiya. There's a small possibility where it's not. Small possibility. But don't be overwhelmed by this. It's not a big majority. So just ask yourself, is it jumla fi'aliya or jumla ismiya? And when it's a jumla fi'aliya, once you figure out it's a jumla fi'aliya, you need to look for 4 main things. 4 main things. Is it a fi'l? Is it a fa'il? Is it a maf'ul? Is it a muta'alliq? 4 main things. So you identify your fi'l, you identify the fa'il, you identify if there's a maf'ul bihi or a maf'ul, mostly maf'ul bihi, and then you identify if there's a muta'alliq bil fi'l. Most of the time, these 2, fi'l and fa'il, this can make up an entire jumla fi'aliyah. You don't need anything else. Those 2 are the mandatory things. Those 2 are the main things. Then you look for other things as well. So that's jumla fi'aliyah. Now, if you have an inside pronoun in the fi'l, so the fi'l you have huwa or hiya inside the fi'l. The inside pronoun is huwa or hiya. Then you can look for an outside doer. Try and look if there could be a possibility of an outside doer. If there is, then you have your fa'il. Okay, so that's something also to have at the back of your mind. If it's the huwa version or the hiya version, look for an outside doer. Now, if it is a jumla ismiya, then of course you find three things: the mubtada, the khabar, the muta'alliq. Of course, sometimes khabar is not there, sometimes muta'alliq bil khabar is not there, but mubtada is always going to be there. Okay. Although there are a few cases where mubtada is mahdhuf, we will not get into that, but these are the main things. Okay, so mubtada, khabar, muta'alliq bil khabar, if it's a jumla ismiya. Now, once you figure those things out, then you ask yourself, okay, what's happening else? What else is there in the sentence? Is there a tamyiz? Is there a sifa? Is there a badal? Is there atuf? Is there tawkid? Is there all these other things that can come into a sentence? That's when you look for those things. All right? Is that process clear? This is a very straightforward, easy to remember process when you're looking at any sentence in Arabic to be able to ascertain the grammar of it. So this is when it comes to Nahw. Now, when it comes to Sarf, it's also a very simple, straightforward process. You identify the three root letters. If it's a three root letter word, if it's a four root letter, identify the four root letters. In other words, identify the root letters, the jither. Okay, so figure out the jither. What is the jither? And then you find the bab. The bab, when we say bab, we mean the family. Is it family 1, Nasara? Is it family 4? Is it family 10? Is it family 11? Whatever family it is. Yeah, you identify the family. And again, when we were doing Sarf, I urged you guys to know these numbers, 1 all the way up to, well, 10. We've done only up to 10, although they're more than that. But it's important for you to know these numbers, 1 to 10. So that when I say this is family 2, you immediately know this is allama yu'allimu. When I say family 10, you know this is istaghfara yastaghfiru. So that's important. And then you also identify the sigha. Which sigha is it? Which family member is it? Now you go inside the family. If it's istaghfara, you go inside istaghfara and you have members in that istaghfara. So istaghfara is fi'al madi. You have yastaghfiru is fi'al mudari'. You have istighfaran, which is the masdar. And then you have mustaghfirun isim fa'il and so on. So madi, mudari', masdar, isim fa'il, majhul, madi majhul, mudari' majhul, isim maf'ul. These are the members that we're talking about. This is the sigha. Okay, so you identify the sigha and then you try and do the sarf. If it's sarf kabir or sarf saghir, we try and do that, okay, to be able to ascertain like what is the sarf, just for practice and for revision purposes. Is that whole process clear? Okay, great.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Right, now we begin. Okay, so I have divided this surah into a section of 6 parts. So there are 6 sections, and each section has 3 ayat, and that's how we'll try to do it. If we don't finish, it's fine, we'll stop. If we finish, we'll end the class there. So that's basically just how I broke it down to be able to make our work easier for us. So today, inshallah, if we can manage, maybe we can do ayah 1, and then next week we can try and do ayah 2 and 3. Okay. Now, so we have the first ayah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. This is ayah 1 of Surah Attaghabun. So we're going to start with Nahw, and then we will do Sarf. We'll try and translate that ayah. So that's basically the gist of how this class is going to go about. So we're just going to do ayah 1 so that we are familiar with the process, and inshallah next week we'll do ayah 2 and 3. Okay. So whoever wants to participate, you can raise your hand and we can see how to go about this. Okay, so we have Sultana. Okay, tell me.
This is Jumla failure.
So you see a fi'al, it's a Jumla fi'aliyah. What are you looking for?
Failure. I'm looking for the fail. So sabbaha yusabbihu. This is fail mudari. From family 2.
We'll get to the sarf later, no problem. Now we're just doing Nahw. So this is the mudara. Okay, yeah. What's my fa'il? Fa'il
is huwa zamir mustatir.
What does that tell you?
Lillahi. We have to see the outside door.
Do we see an
So
outside
here
door?
it will be ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard.
So you see this whole silatul ism mawsul and its sila, the whole jumla will be the outside door of yusabbihu. So this whole thing is going to be our fa'il. Okay?
Yeah. So lillahi will be jar majrur mutalik bil fi'l.
Yes, this is our muta'alliq. And of course we said ma fi samawati is our fa'il, right?
Fa'il.
Yeah. And then, so the whole thing is our fa'il. But then of course when you go inside it, you have ma. What kind of a word is ma?
Ma isma mawsul. Ma is isma mawsul. So fis samawati wa ma fil ard. This whole will be the silatul mawsul.
Exactly.
So mawsul along with its sila will form the fa'il for yusabbihu.
Exactly. So it's just, you can see that it's pretty straightforward. Just maybe something to point out here. When we were doing isim mawsul, we said there has to be an a'id, whether it's inside, whether it's implied, whether it's outside. So in this case, you actually have an a'id here that is implied. Okay? So ma huwa is the a'id. It's hidden. Okay? So ma huwa fi samawati. So this is the a'id that goes back to ma. So in essence, this isim is basically the sila of ma. And then fi samawati is muta'alliq to this isim huwa. That's the technical bit of it, but we can just say this part is the silatul mawsul. Yeah, it's the silatul mawsul to fi samawati is the silatul mawsul. But I just wanted you to remember that the a'id is implied in that sense.
So this will be just going back, right, sister? So nothing connected to the thing what is before that.
Yes. So this is just
after
huwa
that
is going back to ma.
Ji.
Whatever is in the samawat, in the sky.
Skies and whatever is in the earth.
Yeah. Okay, good. Let's go on. You can do lahul mulk.
Okay, lahu is khabar muqaddam. This is jumla ismiya. It is jumla ismiya. So if I take this lahu, it is jar majrur.
Yes. So that is what?
Jar majrur. It is mutaliq.
Yes. So this is our muta'alliq.
So.
And al-mulk would be what?
Al-mulk, it is mubtada muakhar.
Yes. Yes, it's mubtada.
Mubtada.
Is there a special meaning? So we know that the mubtada can come later when you have a jar majroor before it, but it has to be what? Common or proper? Nakira or ma'rifa?
It has to be nakira if it comes later.
Yeah.
Nakira.
And if it comes proper?
Proper, it is for emphasis.
Takhsis is for exclusivity. Yeah. So there's
hasar,
yeah. So there's exclusivity here. There's a special meaning because the mubtada is proper. Okay. And of course, the same thing appears because waw here is harf ataf. So this is ataf.
Yeah. So the ataf. And lahu is again mutaliq. Jar majrur mutaliq.
Yeah. And of course, alhamdu is also what?
It is mubtada. Alhamdu.
Exactly. So the same Arab just repeats there. Again.
Because of atf.
Exactly. Is there any question? Somebody's mic was. Are we all clear so far?
Two mubtadas?
Yes. Not two mubtadas, but you see this is one sentence and it's connected to this other sentence. So this is another sentence and this is another sentence and they are connected by harf ataf wa. So the first sentence has a mubtada and a muta'alliq. The second sentence has a mubtada and a muta'alliq. Like that. So two sentences are connected together. Separate sentences connected together. Is that clear? All right. Let's finish the ayah. So وهو.
So, واو is حرف عطف again.
Yeah, it could be حرف عطف.
Yeah.
It could be واو حالية. It could
Or
be a number of things.
استنافية.
Or استئنافية. It could be a
Okay.
number of things. Yeah.
So
So
واو is حرف عطف. So
we can,
هو
yeah.
is
هو.
هو is مبتدأ.
Mm-hmm.
It is ضمير منفصل مبتدأ. The jumla is jumla ismiya first. If I have to, so it is huwa is mubtada. Ala kulli shay'in, it is jar majroor, which is mutalik.
Mutalik to
So
what?
qadirun is khabar. Mutalik to khabar.
What is the khabar?
Qadirun is khabar.
Okay. So this is a muta'alliq. Muqaddam, because the khabar came later. And this is a khabar. Right? Khabar. Yeah. So that's basically what happened there. Any questions on that? Yeah, so you can see the vocabulary and the Nahw, the grammatical structure of the sentences is very straightforward, very easy, simple sentences. You have your mubtada, your khabar. There's no complications like the advanced text that we are doing right now. So alhamdulillah for that. Okay. So let's try and do some sarf. I identified the two words here that maybe we can try and do a sarf of. So not all words are sarfifiable. For example, fi is a harf, so you don't do sarf of that. Wa is also a harf. Al-ard is a jamid, it's not sarfifiable. So things like that. So you only pick the words that are sarfifiable, and we try and do that. Okay, so we have yusabbihu. What is the jidr of yusabbihu?
Sin ba ha.
Yeah, so that's sin ba ha. And which family is it?
Family 2.
علم يعلم. سبح يسبح.
Siga is wahid muzakkar ghaib, third person.
The siga is the family. Which family member? Which inside is it? Madi, mudara, masdar?
It is mudare. It is mudare. It is mudare.
Yeah. So this is mudara. Ma'loom, but I'm not going to write the ma'loom bit. If we encounter something that is majhul, then we will write majhul. Yeah.
Okay.
So. Okay. So we're gonna do just
It is sabbaha.
Go on.
Sabbaha.
I'm not gonna type the whole thing because it's gonna take forever.
Sabbaha yusabbihu. Okay. Sabbaha yusabbihu tasbihan fahuwa musbihun musbahun.
يسبح فهو
tasbihun.
فهو
tasbihan. Okay. fahuwa musbihun.
Yes. مسبح. مسبح. What? سبح يسبح تسبيحا فهو مسبح.
مسبihun. Musabbihun.
Yes.
Musabbihun. Musabbahun.
مسبح. So this we have identified, it's يسبح. This is where it is. So when it comes to the Sarf Kabir, you can do the whole thing on your own, but how we'll be doing this
so
in this
all the
class,
14 things we have to say?
No, not all the 14 things.
Sarf Kabir?
In Sarf Kabir, what we'll be doing is, if we identify now, this is in Sarf Saghir, this is the word that we are looking at, yusabbihu. So we'll just mention that line of yusabbihu. So huwa yusabbihu, huma yusabbihani, hum yusabbihuna. Just that line. And then the rest you can practice on your own.
Okay, ji. Yusabbihu, yusabbihani, yusabbihuna.
Yusabbihuna. Okay. That's basically what we're going to be doing in this class, because if we're to do the whole thing, it's going to take a lot of time. Unless it's a difficult word, then we'll focus on that. But this one's, I think all of us are familiar with this. So once we've identified that, then we can just proceed. And what do you think this word means? Sabbaha yusabbihu.
Actually, this is tasbih bayan karna. That is the matlab paki. What to say the
I'll help
in
you.
English?
Yeah, in
Yeah,
English,
the English
basically,
thing.
to exalt or to declare. Ustad likes to say declare the perfection of Allah.
Okay.
So we'll go with that. But of course,
Perfection of
in
Allah.
translations, you would see something like what's happening?
Glorify.
Glorify.
The purification, glorify. Okay.
Yeah. So glorify, that's the word that comes a lot in translations. Yeah. Okay, so that's the sarf of that word, sabbaha. Then we can try and do qadir. Qadir. What do you guys think?
Qadir. It is ismul fa'il. Qadir.
Ismul fa'il?
Sifa, right? Sifa, matlab sifa with
Ism sifa.
qadara yaqduru. Ism sifa.
Yes.
Qadara
Abu Jibir?
yaqdiru.
Yes. So the jidr is qaf.
Dal. Ra.
Ra. And of course, when you see this ism sifa, which family are we talking about when you see ism sifa?
It should be from Karuma.
Yes. Not karuma, but nasara. Yeah, small
Nasara
families.
Karuma. Ji.
Yeah, so when you see ism sifa, ism mubalagha, when you see ism tasghir, ism tafdil, all these different isms that are, not there in the big families, you immediately think small families. And in this case, we have either nasara or daraba. Okay, so it can be either nasara or daraba. But we'll stick to nasara here. We'll do the sarf of nasara. So qadara yaqduru. That's the one we're doing. And we won't do the whole thing because qadir comes all the way at the end. Because it's an ism sifa, you have, all the different asmas that come before. So we'll just do the first line only, and then you can revise on your own. So this
Qadara, qadara, qadaru.
Yeah, that will be the sarf kabir of the madi. So this is qadara yaqduru. قدر فهو قادر. And you can continue all the way. If you do the majhul line, you do the zarf line, and then you do the isim tasghir, you do the isim tafdil, you do all the different asmas. Somewhere there in the line, you will come to isim sifa, which is qadir. Now, the way you know isim sifa, I always say is that you see the ya, the extra ya in the jidr. So qadir, halim, kareem, rahim, in this pattern of fa'il. So isim sifa mushabbaha comes in this pattern, fa'il. Okay? We're not going to do the sarf kabir of it because it vastly differs. And most of the time, this sifa is a property. So you don't, it doesn't come with plurals and things like that. Of course, it differs. Some have, some don't. So we'll not do the sarf kabir of that. All right. And what does it mean? So it means to be capable. So Allah is capable over all things. Or it can mean also to have power. And it has other meanings. But capable is the one that is mostly used. So we'll go with that one. Capable. Okay. So Wallahu ala kulli shay'in qadir. And Allah is over all things capable. So I'm just going to copy that again, and then we can try and translate this sentence. Okay. Here. Okay. So let's try and translate that. يسبح لله. Now we've identified that ما في السماوات وما في الأرض is the فاعل. And remember, when you're translating a جملة فعلية, you start with the فاعل, then you go to the فعل. Okay, so how would we translate that?
Whatever is in the
Whatever.
in the earth and whatever is in the
يسبح
in
لله.
glorifies Allah.
له الملك وله الحمد.
Him is
So remember when we have this jar majroor mubtada structure, normally we translate it as he has. For example, if I say li kitabun, I don't say for me is a book, I say I have a book. Li kitabun, I have a book. So when you have a jar majroor and mubtada, you can translate as he has. But remember, there's ikhtisas in that sentence because the mubtada is proper. So how would we say that?
Only he has.
Only he has, you can say dominion, mulk, dominion, kingship, mulk. But let's go with dominion. Only he has dominion and وله الحمد. And again, the same structure basically. And only he has praise. Or
Just praise. All.
you can say praise and thanks. That's how Ustad would translate alhamd, praise and thanks. Yeah, but I think most translation would just say praise. Okay, we can add it there just for the purpose of that. وهو على كل شيء قدير.
And he is over all things capable.
He is over all things capable. Okay. Or you can say while he is over all things capable, because this wow can also be wow haliyah. And that's basically ayah number 1 of Surah Attaghabun. I don't know if there are any other questions. So that's basically how the study is going to be. It's going to be very simple, very straightforward. We just look at the Nahw, how the ayat are arranged, and we do Sarf of some major words. And that would be it. Any questions to that? I know it's pretty straightforward. Or any maybe Sarf questions as well? All right, great. So that was just the introduction to this series, inshallah. We'll continue like this. So next week we will do ayah 2 in the same manner and ayah 3. And then when we are done, we can do some reflections on those ayat. I've also added on my notes these diagrams from tafsir.co or tafsir.com.app. Yeah. And maybe we can just, since we've done ayah 1, we can try and just discuss a little bit about this for those who maybe are not familiar with this diagram, so that we can just bring it out clearly. And then we can end the session, inshallah. We might not do this for all the sessions depending on time, but since we have a few more minutes, I think we can do this. So you have yusabbihu, like we said, and you can see it says fi'l. I know the text is a bit small. Let me try and zoom in. So it says yusabbihu is a fi'l. You'll see there. So we've already identified the main part is a fi'l, jumla fi'liya. And you'll also see that they color code this. So all the fi'ls will be green. All the asmas will be blue. And then harf jar is going to be this color red, and so on and so forth like that. So they are color coding it like that. And then you have lillahi. And of course, this is the jar majroor. You can see harf jar and then majroor down here. So harf jar and it's majroor. Alam basically just mean a known, an ism, like a name. Yeah, a name. So Allah, lafdul jalala is a name. And of course, they're saying that this jar majroor is متعلق. You can see down here, it's متعلق to يسبحه. So this is متعلق بالفعل. متعلق ب يسبحه. And they're saying that the ma is an اسم موصول and it is also the fa'il of يسبحه. Okay? And then this اسم موصول, it's sila. It's an ism, like we said, it's huwa that is hidden. Okay? So that will be the sila. And then this jar majroor fi samawati, which is a jar majroor, is the muta'alliq. Again, muta'alliq is always orange, so you see that. So this is a muta'alliq to this huwa. Okay, and then it goes on and says, and then you have a harf atuf wa, and this ma is connected to this ma. So you see ma'tuf, that ma is connected to that ma. So, and then the same thing happens. So this is an isim mawsul. The sila again is hidden, is ma'tuf, is mahdhuf. And then jar majroor, which is the muta'alliq that goes back to that isim. And that would be that part. And then lahul mulk, harf jar, this is a dhamir. So this is a jar majroor over here. And it's saying that this jar majroor is muta'alliq to an isim. Okay, so this is how they looked at it. Okay, so this is a different way of the way they looked at it. Oh yeah, no, sorry, it's right. So basically they're saying that the khabar is mahdhuf, yeah? And of course we know like you have a mubtada and then this is muta'alliq bil khabar and then there's no khabar. So this muta'alliq is muta'alliq to a mahdhuf khabar, to something that is hidden. Okay, so something that is missing there. And of course that is the khabar to this ism, which is the mubtada right there. So you see this is khabar. This is khabar of al-mulk. Same thing happening here. So you have waw harf atif connecting that sentence to the next sentence. Jar majroor is the muta'alliq to an isim that is missing, the khabar that is mahdhuf. And of course that khabar is a khabar to the mubtada, which is alhamdu. Okay, yeah, jumla ismiya is ma'tuf on each other like we had explained. And then you have the last part, which is وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. So waw harf atuf or waw haliya, depending on how you want to look at it. Huwa is a dhamir and it is the mubtada. Why are they saying? Yeah, so this is our mubtada. So you'll notice that they don't really write mubtada. They just say that this is the khabar of this. And in that sense, you know that they're saying that this is the mubtada because a khabar can only be a khabar to a mubtada. So this khabar, this qadir is the khabar to this mubtada. Ala kulli shay'in, this is a chain idafa. This is ala jar majroor. This is isim majroor. This is mudaf and this is mudaf ilayh. So that's connected like that. And then that will be this jar majroor is the muta'alliq to this khabar in one bucket like that. I hope those diagrams will be of help. So that's ayah 1. It's grammatical breakdown. Is there any question?
Sister, now this too, how we have to say this is mutaliq bil fail, even this jumla, both jumlas which has come later.
No, this is mutaliq bil khabar.
No, these three to this thing. Lahul mulku, lahul hamdu, wala kulli shay'in qadir. So all these three will be mutaliq to this. Yusabbihu.
No. This you look at it separately because this is an entire sentence on its own. You see, this is a jumla ismiya. It has its muta'alliq bil khabar and this is the mubtada. And the khabar is hidden. The khabar that it is muta'alliq to is hidden. It's not muta'alliq to fi'l. It's muta'alliq to a khabar. Because this is a sentence on its own. This is a sentence on its own.
Okay. No, these sentences will be independent from this yusabbihu sentence.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, as in, yeah, they're independent because this is a jumla ismiya that is not connected to that jumla up there. This one ended. Yusabbihu lillahi ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard ended there. And then you have a new sentence, lahul mulk, which is connected to another sentence, wa lahul hamd. And then you have a new sentence, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. So you see, one ayah can have 4 sentences. And sometimes 3 ayahs could be 1 sentence. So it just depends on how the grammar goes.
No, the last one. وهو على كل شيء قدير. Is it not connected to the other one? له الملك وله الحمد because of this حرف
Yes.
عطف.
Yes, if you look at this waw as harf ataf, then this would be connected to those jumla ismiya, to this jumla ismiya up here, which is also connected to this other jumla ismiya. So that would be connected. If you're looking at it as harf ataf, it's connected. But if you're looking at it as waw haliya, then this is hal, in essence. This jumla would be hal. Yeah. Good observation.
So this hal will be for that yusabbihu lillahi jumla, na sister? If
Yes.
this is.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Just remind me. Like I know ataf is like joining, but hal, how would it make a difference in terms of meaning?
So hal basically describes the state of a sahibul hal while doing an action. Okay, so it describes the state of a sahibul hal while doing an action. So for example, if I said, I drove while crying. I drove while crying. So while crying is describing me, the sahibul hal, while it's describing me as I was driving. So it's describing me the state I was in as I was driving. So if we say that this sentence is haliya, is waw haliya, so huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir, he is capable of over all things, to be the hal of how ma fi samawati wa ma fi al-ardi yusabbihu. Although wait. No, sorry.
It's connected.
Sorry. I forgot something very important. When you have a jumla ismiya as a hal, is it? Am I confusing? Is there a sahibul hal here? I don't think there's a sahibul
So
hal.
it should be for the lillahi, no? Allah will be zulhal.
There's something I'm forgetting. Trying to remember. Let me just check in the book real quick. Because there's a part where you have a jumla where there's no sahibul hal. I don't know if it's a madi or forgetting a few things. Every time I add more stuff, I forget more stuff. Alhamdulillah. Hal. This is in advanced Nahw, right? Hal. Difference. Hal. Hal is an ism. The fi'li as a hal. Okay, so fi'l madi. When a fi'l madi appears as a hal, it must be preceded by waqad, and there's no sahibul hal. So that's where you have no sahibul hal. The hal as a jumla ismiya. To find the sahibul hal, ask yourself who is in that state. Yeah, so in this case, it would be Allah that is basically the sahibul hal.
You know, it kind of makes sense to me both ways, whether it's ataf or hal.
Yeah.
Lahul mulk wa lahul hamdu. You know, he has dominion and he has praise while he's capable over all things.
Yeah.
There's still connection. I still see both ways there's a connection. Maybe it's just how I'm thinking.
No, you're right. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like it's connected because the sahibul hal is Allah, goes back to lahul mulk wa lahul hamd. So the who, it's the sahibul hal in this case. So he has dominion, and he basically has praise, or he is praiseworthy, while he is capable over all things, and he is capable over all things. Whether you want to, but I think most people will go for and. You can also check in the tafsirs. I like to do that. Just go to different tafsir and see how Mustafa Khattab translated it, and how Abdul Halim, how Sahih International translated it, and then you'll see the differences. And you see, oh, this person translated it as ataf, this person went with hal, this person did like this, and it's beautiful to see that. You understand why? Yes? Somebody was saying something?
No, I just said it's a good idea to do that. You kind of see how they, they just look at it differently.
Exactly. Yeah. And the beauty is you understand why they did it like this. So it's beautiful like that. Any other questions? Okay, we can end there. So that's basically the taste of what we'll be doing in this class, inshallah, for the next couple of weeks. And I hope to see you with these sessions. What I recommend is that the Deeper Look series of this surah is out in Bayina. Please go watch. Now that we've done Ayah 1, go watch what Ustad has done for Ayah 1. The video is about 1 hour. So go watch that video and hopefully try and make those connections as they come. So now you've seen the grammar, you've seen the Sarf. So now just try and make those connections with Ustad as he does this. You can do that before the class or after the class. Preferably, I would urge you do it after the class because now you've seen the breakdown of it. Then you can go and watch what Ustad has to say. And we can end there. Any other thing? Okay. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله خيرا كثيرا.
وإياكم جزاكم الله خير.
Interesting class.